we initially started by having a conversation with the sector, members and non-members. We'd made some mistakes in the way we'd engaged with the sector in previous years, so we actually had to acknowledge that the union wasn't a positive force within the childcare sector, and that took a lot for us to do, but I think that was an important place to start. So, we talked to the owners of centres, the leaders, the directors, the managers, the CEOs, the boards, and really the first 12 months really was getting out and talking to the sector about what they needed and trying to pitch where the union's role could be.
The LHMU childcare campaign is about the people that are working within childcare, and we as a union are working very hard to make sure that we're being heard.
I became involved in the campaign through my director asking us to raise the profile of the industry. We were very undervalued in the community and in the broader community. So I decided to step up and see if I could raise our profile in the profession.
I think the sector really is at the crossroads, and you look at where nurses and teachers were 25, 30 years ago. They were in very similar situation to where the early childhood professionals are now. What is significant about those two sectors is they're both highly unionised, and professionals within those sectors advocate strongly on their behalf. That's where childcarers need to be, and that's the role that the union plays, unifying, bringing workers together in a very strategic and comprehensive way to stand up for their profession, to advocate strongly and to make a significant difference not only to their day-to-day lives, but how the whole childcare sector is perceived, structured and how it delivers its service. The childcare campaign has made a significant difference for our members because they're standing up for themselves, they're getting fantastic community support, and they understand by working together that they can actually achieve a fantastic outcome. The childcare campaign's made an enormous difference to the union because it represents how we want to campaign in terms of the resources, structures and approach. The childcare campaign's made an enormous difference to the people who use childcare. They now fully understand the depth of work that our members provide, the complexity of it, the important nature of it. So the childcare campaign has been important for the union, for those childcare professionals and for people who utilise childcare services.
The campaign's made an enormous difference to my job. I think with the community and the public recognising the work that we do, and to see us out there actively pursuing the career and showing the public how good a job we do. The director and the staff who were not as passionate about the union before have become extremely passionate about what the LHMU have done for them and how they've raised our profile in the community.
Being a part of the Child Care campaign means that I'm working with the people across the sector that are facing the same conditions that I am, and in our different work sites, being an activist means that we can come together and talk about the struggles and talk about the great joy that we get to in talking about our jobs, what we do, gaining the recognition that we deserve and making sure that we're being heard as a sector.
Now this campaign, raising our profile in the industry, has been very rewarding for me to see, to sort of leave a legacy behind for younger carers that we do an enormous amount of great work.
I'm involved in the campaign and I continue to be involved in the campaign because it's an immensely rewarding process. My colleagues that I work with, when they perhaps aren't feeling great about the job, bringing them along to activist meetings, speaking to them about the things that we talk about, and being a part of our union means that we are all feeling a much more strong sense of who we are as professionals, as we are as educators in our centres, and knowing that the parents and the country are really wanting to know how this is going to be fixed. I'm a very proud member of our union, and I see being an activist as being a very strong part of our union. We are what makes up our union. The greater the number of activists, and they're increasing every time that we come along to a meeting, means that we are all getting stronger. More is being done. There's greater reward in being together and doing this to make sure that we're being heard.
The community are now listening to childcare professionals. I think we've been out there for the last 3 years trying to tap into areas where we haven't been recognised before. We're getting good media coverage. We're getting the recent professionals week that we had was a great success at this centre. A lot of parents and the broader community recognised us with our stickers and posters, and are finding that we're out there and they value the work that we do.
Early childhood professionals showing they are the heart and soul of childcare. This event kick-starting a week to highlight the essential role they play in shaping the minds of future Tasmanians. That's what they say the federal government continues to ignore, calling on more funding sooner rather than later.
To make sure that we can do the jobs that we need to do and to do them appropriately.
Urging the Commonwealth to make childcare a priority in this year's election and introduce nationally consistent best practice regulations and pay scales that reflect their qualifications.
It's a specialised role that we work with every day, and we make sure that children are developmentally stimulated and that they're nurtured in that environment.
Research shows that 80% of a child's development occurs before the age of 5. Early childhood professionals love their work and deserve respect for the important work they do. So the week commencing the 28th of May is Thank Your Early Childhood Professional Week. So if you use childcare, how about giving them a smile and thank them for all their great work? Early childhood professionals, the heart and soul of childcare. Written and authorised by David O'Byrne, LHMU, the Childcare Union.
The amount of funds that come from the federal government towards the childcare sector is appalling. There needs to be a decent funding model, and that will be the focus of our activities, ensuring in everyone's mind when they go into the ballot box that apart from your rights at work as an issue that they'll vote on, they'll be voting on childcare issues. And the party that provides the best framework for early childhood development and the services that provide that quality service have to be at the forefront.
While Tasmanian child care professionals have welcomed indications from the Federal Treasurer they'll get a slice of the budget pie, they're wary Mr Costello's promises are just magic tricks to lure votes.
Abracadabra! Federal budget, federal budget! Oh my goodness.
Well, what we're asking is the federal government, if they pull the rabbit out of the hat, to pull out the whole rabbit and not just the ears, because childcare needs to be funded appropriately.
The community has now been forced to listen to us. The strength that we have in our numbers and the strength that we have in our activists has meant that people are now listening. We are out there, the media flock to anything that we do. This is an agenda for the national election, and the community is there behind us. We just need to keep on being loud. The momentum is growing. More and more people are joining every day. The density in Tasmania has been nothing that's ever been there before. We're all being heard, we're speaking as one, and we're understanding where we're coming from, and we know where we want to go to. The LHMU is getting stronger every day.
The next election is extremely important to the childcare sector. I think we've got the opportunity to lobby the federal government, especially through the state and federal, to allow them to recognise our industry.
I am extremely excited about the next federal election. This election coming up is going to be huge for us as a union. We are going to be all over every part of the country speaking about what childcare means for families, what childcare means for the communities that we live in, and what childcare means for us. We are doing this. We have got a very strong role in the community in educating children. This needs to be recognised in our conditions. It needs to be certainly rectified in the pay that we're receiving now, and we are being heard. This is an agenda for the national election.
The future of the childcare campaign is in the hands of childcare professionals. Hundreds of early childhood professionals have joined their union, getting involved, standing up, becoming active, and that has really pushed our campaign along. We need more people to involve themselves in the campaign, to advocate strongly on their behalf. Clearly the professions that are highly unionised, that are highly organised and are strong advocates for what they do, achieve significant outcomes. Childcarers need to step up to the plate and continue the great work that's occurred over the last 3 years. And it really is in their hands. If they stand up, they can win.